Well, of course he's not going to leave everyone behind because he was abandoned as a pup. And then he was found by Mariel.
And they lived in the middle of nowhere.
A lot of freaky stuff happens in the middle of nowhere. But not the courage to save his new family.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Hello, it is me, Itisdpayne.
You said you had material ready?
Yes. Hey, so I'm gonna send this to you, and it is related, I feel like, to what we're about to start. It's some Halloween decor.
Like I sent you when I was out shopping, literally July 5th.
Yes. But this is a very specific kind of decor. Oh, did I send it to you in Discord?
I'm not seeing... Oh, there it is.
There we go. It's, it is called Hippie Hollow, where it is pastel Halloween.
Why is there a floral pumpkin? So, what I have come to understand is I've heard people call this one of two things. The straight people call this Summerween, and a lot of the queer people are like, why is there a bi-flag skeleton at my Michael's? Because if you go, like, to the second page, there's a lot of skeletons that are, like, like very pride color flag. This one that I'm looking at looks like the lesbian flag almost. Let me send you just this little preview.
Yep, I was looking at that as well. I'm like, alright.
I know we like joked about Summerween, and we are literally starting Halloween stuff now. So we're not very good. I feel like I'm not allowed to say anything about this, but I can say that a lot of this is really ugly.
Yeah, I know what we're starting, and I don't have a problem saying anything, because, no, I'm good. I think, the TikTok I saw this on, they were like, yeah, it's like 70s pastel, to use her words, like pastel girly vibes, and I'm like, okay. Like this guy right here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. I know how to...
There's not a single thing in this I would buy.
Hold up. How about this bad boy right here? Look at him.
I saw the whole collection, so we're not good at editing or anything. So for everyone who's like, what the heck are they looking at? Itisdpayne just sent me a vulture that starts at pink at the beak and the head and ends on yellow at its feet, with colors in between. And I can for sure say that is not the only animal they have. I see
there's a skeleton dog.
Yeah, ombre mouse skeleton.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's
I just saw that.
There's pom-pom wreaths. Oh my god. So, I know I don't really craft that much. Like, I crochet and I do things like that, but Itisdpayne, guess the price of this wreath made out of pink, yellow, and orange pom-poms with some, like, cutout bats on it.
Alright, I'm gonna stop scrolling because I might actually come across it. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be within the... I'm gonna say $4.
$60.
Oh my gosh. Just buy Bloodborne, not Bloodborne, the other one, Elden Ring. Just do that. So, yeah, it was, I saw this and I'm like, I knew we were recording today and I'm like, I'm bringing this to the podcast.
I will say, this one item pictured from this angle does not look like, it says it's multiple skulls stacked on top of each other. That is not what I thought that was.
Were you thinking of, everything all at once?
Yeah, the superpower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Her awards.
What's the craziest thing you can imagine of doing right now?
Buying this stuff.
That's how you unleash your your other universe you.
Let's see.
What hippie Halloween powers?
They have an
What'd you end
orange
up
one
with?
too. I think it'd just be like crafting
You'd be
or like
crafty.
design. It would be like interior design, but like gaudy, very terrible.
I don't know how that'll help you out in martial arts. I mean, hot dog
Well,
fingers didn't really help, but
yeah. Well, it helped her. What was it? Use foot kung fu.
that is true. And
I don't
then
know. This I feel like if you're gonna need a sign that's like this, um, I don't think you're doing what the sign says.
no, this is a very how do you call it?
Corporate.
Yeah.
It's like a almost like it looks like eggs
It looks
behind
like
it.
it looks like they went to Canva.
Yeah.
And no, hey, I use Canva quite a bit because I also run like various Instagram accounts. But like, put in some flavor. Don't just like use the basic background.
I found so the red plug you sent right above it is a pink plug, and it's a little bit more detailed in that picture.
Oh, you can actually see skulls.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
it's
doesn't.
on.
It does have a base though, so it's safe to use. What's the flared base? There you go, everybody. As we're about to talk about a children's show, but D-Payne has another story for us.
Yes. As I close this site, I'm done looking at all that. So I'll introduce what we'd be talking about, which we're going to be talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog, as we said last week. And so where is it?
You have physical merchandise.
I had the physical copy, which I thought, hey, I should just be able to put this in my computer and play it. Little did I know is that in the corporate dealings and just the infinite wisdom of updates, Windows Media Player does not play DVDs.
What is its purpose?
Nothing. And then I found out that VLC doesn't play DVDs.
Oh, VLC used to do everything.
I know. Now you have to like, and I'm not good at technology. Like you had to like, there's like some code or something you had to like download or like put in
encoder.
that. Yeah, and it's just like I tried doing that once while following a video, and I still did it wrong. And like all the like videos on YouTube is like a person with a certain accent just like, hey, just uninstall it and reinstall it. And I'm like, I already did that and it still don't work. It's like, you know, you just be able to just have it go. What's wrong? And so after multiple things, and then it's like, well, here's your options. You could, and so this is like an hour and for me to just watch this 20-minute show. It took me like an hour and a half just of trying to find a way.
Sheer
because
determination.
Yeah, well, I also didn't feel like plugging the PS4.
That's what I figured.
But like going and looking around, and I was like, okay, this doesn't work. And then it's like, hey, if you give Windows 15 or $16, you can get the Blu-ray play or the player that does the whatevers. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And I was also confused because I have a program on here that plays Blu-rays,
but not DVDs.
But yeah, it wouldn't read the DVD. I'm like, is this just a broken disc? Do I need to like find a different way to figure this out? But then it's like, hey, the Windows, hey, you can play it, but you can't watch it. And I'm like,
what good?
Okay.
What use?
Yeah. And so after multiple searches and multiple programs, like, hey, if you give us like a $60 subscription, you can watch it. I was like, I'm not paying
At that
garbage.
point, you would have just rented whatever.
Yeah, it would have costed about the same amount. I'm like, there's got to be an option. And then I found one. I don't know where it is. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's called Pot Player.
It sounds like you had to like dig back into your LimeWire roots to really get this going for you.
Yeah, I thought about like I was like, can I rip this off the DVD? And I could have, but that was also a program that cost money. So like,
Wow, they charge you for pirating now?
yeah.
It's wild.
So thinking about it now, since I own a physical copy, I'm okay like downloading thing. Like that's my big thing. It was like if I have a physical copy or there's no way to get a copy of the whatever I'm trying to watch, those are like the only two like realms of me considering downloading pirating. I don't know.
You already gave the
was,
money to the creators once.
Yeah. Well, I gave it to whoever holds the license.
That's true. We can only hope it makes it back to creators, but
Yeah, but that's the other thing where I'm just like, I don't know. I almost got in big troubles with pirating, so I'm always like, I'm very like, I don't want to go down this route.
I do remember having to do my best to scrub a virus off of my childhood computer because I thought I was upgrading my Photoshop that I had already pirated, but I wanted the new Photoshop. But they got greedy, and my family was like, "Why are you up 3 a.m. on your PC?" I'm like, sweating. I'm like, I can't ask them to buy me a new one. We can't afford a new one. This is already the hand-me-down.
Yeah.
And it was usable. It had a couple weird moments, but nobody fished our data, so you know.
Yeah, what was it? I forget. There was a site. They don't exist anymore. I forget what it was called. I think it was like Oink, and you could only get in there by like. This is when I used to torrent stuff. You can only get in there when by invite, and I got in there, and I remember I was going back and forth like downloading TV shows and stuff. And then all of a sudden we get an email. So the government found our servers, and I'm like, me at like 18 years old, just like, oh, what? And I'm like, what is this? And there was like, yes, they don't have enough information to go after anybody who actually downloaded stuff. Which like now I'm sitting there, I'm like, that was a lie. They just wanted to get the people,
the big ones.
Like,
Yeah, they don't care about the people that downloaded stuff. They wanted the people that were uploading
or running
the
site.
Yeah.
And so so they did that, and then I was like, ugh.
That's enough of that.
But yeah, well, no, because then I think it was Demonoid, I think that's what it was called. It was something very similar. My friends invited me, and I'm like, just like, oh man, what's on here? And then I was like, every single X-Men comic? Sweet. And then it ruined my ratio because no one was downloading 10 gigabytes worth of X-Men comics. And so my ratio got destroyed and I got kicked off the site. So there's all that. And then all of a sudden Comcast sent out emails for certain movies that I downloaded, and then that was it. I was like, no more. I ain't getting like, because the mail didn't come to me, it went to my parents. And so that was big trouble. Anyway, now that we went down Itisdpayne's pirating career.
Stealing is bad, kids, unless it's from major corporations, but you didn't hear it from us.
Yes, you didn't hear from us. You heard it from Hop. No. But yeah, but we're going to be talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog. Wow, I felt like that just came out like mumbling. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Pronunciation is important.
Yes.
Especially if you get in debate. But,
yeah, and if you are just stumbling upon us here, welcome in. We are Chaos. As you will find in the very first episode of any series we're starting, we always go, this is a great idea, and then we go, what are we going to do for the format? But it's fine. You're here already and you're stuck with us. Please don't leave.
I literally was thinking that today. I did have a thought.
Just
since
one.
There's multiple, but there's multiple thoughts, but the one that it pertains to this, since there's 2 episodes, which this might be a little bit tough depending on which one you do, but we could
That's another fun story that we'll get to once we actually start talking about the episodes.
but I figure we can roll our die, and how about this? We can roll the die, and whoever wins gets to choose what episode they want to talk about.
That's fun.
And then, we'll give the synopsis, and then we'll give a little chat.
Spoilers, because this is a very old show at this point.
Yeah, I think it's past our... there's probably
So-called
people...
limit.
Yeah, our limit, which was like at least 10 years, and this is definitely over 10 years. But, yes, we will be spoiling Courage the Cowardly Dog. At least season 1. This part is just season 1. But yeah, so we can choose which one we wanna chat. I have a feeling I know which one Hop will want to give the synopsis of.
What? And they're predictable? No way.
Well, when you have the information I have. But we can do that. I don't know. Maybe we can set the timer for 20 minutes. I don't think we're going to take 20 minutes to chat about it, but who knows?
Not. I mean, these might be shorter episodes, but then that's also just generally nice because, I don't know, like the bookish episodes were fun. Those were a lot easier to talk about. But I keep thinking about A24 where it was just like, we don't have enough time to talk about this whole movie. How do we we do this? So it feels nice to take like a easy breezy route.
Yeah. This will be our test episode. If we feel like, okay, we rambled on for a while, which, I don't know, it's like we're friends and talk a lot.
Gross.
Yeah. We literally had to be like, all right, we got to stop talking and start this thing. Otherwise, it's going to be like 10 o'clock and we'll be like, it's what time?
It's bedtime. So there are 13 episodes in this first season, but they're like 2-parters, right? There's an A and a B to each of them. So then I ask, do we roll a D12 because closest number to 13, or do we roll a 20 and a 6 for 26?
I like the 20 and a 6 because it's chaotic. And we never did that before.
It is a new way for us to roll dice. And if you guys are wondering why we roll dice, we are big nerds. A lot of tabletop gaming, a lot of video gaming. Itisdpayne still actively streams and has other podcasts of him running Call of Cthulhu. I couldn't remember if you started another system or you were just thinking about starting another system.
That's just on stream.
Okay.
We're playing Traveler, which is a lot of fun. And then Charity Palooza, which when this comes out has already happened, but for us it's 10 days away.
The timeline, the secrets.
The secret timeline that we don't ruin almost every time we meet. But yeah, it's we're doing 5e for that. And I know I was thinking about doing something else for the fall, but I think I really want to play this campaign that I wrote for 5e that never saw the light of day. Plus, I remember seeing, a guest that was on here, J2 Rudo, saying, he's like, I want to play 5e. And I'm like, well.
Easy peasy.
I'm like, I'll run it. Also, I want this campaign to see the light of day because it's one of my favorite things I've written for a campaign.
Yes. You did put in a lot of work because they asked for a lot of stuff. But
yep. And then everything got pulled out from underneath. So I'm like, fine, I'll do it myself, said the large purple man. Said purple Josh Brolin.
But in any case, do we want to roll, so highest with a 20 and the 6? I don't believe there's any other system that combines these two, but hey, it's us. We do what we want. This is pointless. This is system.
If we did a D12, it would be the One Ring.
All right, I did my math. I added my numbers together.
This is... Oh, thank goodness. This is the easiest math I had to do. What did you roll?
A 7 on my D20 and a 5 on my D6 for a total of 12. Oh,
it's close. It's really close. I rolled a 2 on my D20 and a 1 on my D6. I got a 3.
All right, so I guess I get to choose.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I'll choose to talk about the night at the Catz Hotel.
Too bad. I already claimed that.
And if anyone's wondering why this is such a haha moment, it's because I don't know what happened. So Dpayne has the physical media, and then I remembered that someone shared with me the login to Max, which I believe is the only streaming service that just has Courage on it now, because I don't know, they bought whatever. Cartoon Network's classic.
Cartoon Noodles.
Cartoon Noodles. So I thought I started episode 1. I don't know if on the account I had already watched episode 1, but it started episode 2 according to the Wikipedia. So I, but anyway.
You're ready for our next episode.
Yeah, I'm ready for next week. But Night at the Catz Hotel is part A, and then part B is Cajun Granny Stew. I remembered Night at the Catz Hotel, and then right before we started, Dpayne was chatting with me, and I just put up, like, clips, and a lot of people have clips from that episode on YouTube, so it was easy for me to kind of, like, fill in the blanks all out of order.
So, I'll see how close to the order she is.
It's a pop quiz.
Popcorn.
All right, so I will start off with a synopsis, and then we'll just ramble.
Yeah, we'll do this. It's shades of Better Off Ted.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Anything else we need to announce or let the viewers know of?
It's very hot out today.
Yeah.
It was hotter out yesterday. This has nothing to do with anything, but you gave me an option to see if there was anything I wanted to fill in, and I took that opportunity.
Well, I hope everybody stayed safe during the heat wave, but in any case,
And stay hydrated.
Synopsis of this episode is they are coming back from a pretty crappy vacation, and Eustace is complaining about, like, whoa, what a way to end this cheap old motel, whatever, I guess this is where we're gonna stop for the night. And they go inside to what is labeled as the Catz Motel, which is Katz, and as soon as they enter, they go to get logged in as a big red cat with, like, the smoothest voice ever greets them and points out that there's a no dogs allowed sign. So they force Courage to sit outside, and Courage starts to get freaked out by spiders and boxes that are getting left around him. To which, I think, was it Muriel is in the bath, and Eustace is already in bed because he's complaining about wanting to be in his own bed. He gets spider-fied. Muriel is about to get spider-fied, and Courage is trying to save them all from getting spider-fied. And it results in him having to have a showdown with Catz. to save his family. Is that a good synopsis?
Yeah.
Cool.
I would say so. So, in the first scene of this, I was wondering, is that their house? That the motel is literally
It looks like
across the street? I'm like, I think that's their house in the middle of nowhere.
Literally.
And then they just, like, they had that still, and they're like, just throw some extra signs on it and put a motel across the street. But I was like, normally pilot. I don't know if this was the pilot episode, but like a lot of the first episodes in these shows, it feels like it sets up a little bit more of the world. At least more like newer ones. This one's just
You're just dumped in.
Yeah, it's like you saw the opening. That's all you need to know. There you go.
You got 3 people and a very anxious dog. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I should say 2 people and a very anxious dog.
The one thing I do remember about Catz, because I know he shows up in other episodes, is that whenever he shows up on screen, he has the same backbeat. Like the, I forget what term it is, but there's like this song that it's just like drums, just, and it's just like, that's right, this is a cool cat.
Whoa. That's a phrase.
Yep. And then he just also is down for murder.
A lot. Did he call them his children? I think so. Or his babies. I forget what.
I don't remember what he called them, but I think it's implied that all the spiders are past tenants. So
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
like the line, like, you'll find out why nobody checks out of the Catz Motel. But in any case, I'm getting ahead of
Hmm.
myself. Yeah, I even though this doesn't do any kind of setup as far as like lore or world building, I think it does a fantastic setup of showing you the interactions between the characters. You have
Hmm.
Old Man Eustace, who all he does is complain and want nothing to do with any of the supernatural stuff. You have Courage, who sees everything but hates the idea of taking care of it because it like stresses him out. But he reasons that Muriel is way too important to leave behind. And then you have
Hmm.
Muriel, who's just like, please stop.
Yeah. Well, of course he's not going to leave her behind because he was abandoned as a pup, and then he was found by Muriel.
And they
I
live
forget
in the
the rest
middle
of
of nowhere.
nowhere. A lot of freaky stuff happens in the middle of nowhere. I got the courage to save his new family.
I know, him in his big old diaper next to the dumpster.
I do remember the final episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog, but we're not there yet.
It's quite a ways away. Aren't there like 4 seasons?
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah, according
There's
to the
52
Wikipedia,
episodes. There's 52 episodes. So
it says there's also I think the special was the pilot,
oh
the chicken from outer space.
oh
Because I don't remember if they talked or not in that.
I don't know.
Oh, there's a crossover film with Scooby Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog. I've never seen that. Oh, it's from 2021. Why is it from 2021?
Sorry, I'm laughing. There's an episode in season 4 called "Squatting Tiger, Hidden Dog." I'm like, okay.
If Scooby Doo hasn't existed since, like the literal, is it late 60s, 70s? I would love to
Something around
watch.
there.
Yeah, I would love to watch all of it, but that's a lot of Scooby Doo.
There's a couple shows that I'm like, it would be really fun to do this for the podcast if it wasn't like 8 million episodes.
Star Trek.
Anyway, I think Star Trek would be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was another one that watching the old Power Ranger
Oh,
stuff.
like the
Henshin.
90s or the Japan?
I don't know. Either one. The Japan has more of the story. But I don't know. There's like a million different not spin-offs.
Iterations.
Yeah, just different
Mighty Morphin.
continuations.
That's the only one that I really like.
Mystic
paid attention to.
yeah, that's I watched the first episode, wrecked the house, and my mom said I was no longer allowed to watch it. But anyway,
Impressionable children.
mhm.
Oh, the thing that I thought was funny, I don't know if this shows up on your DVD version, but when I played it on Max, they had a pop-up that said, like, brought to you with thanks of, like, I forget some company name and the U.S. Department of Education. And I said out loud, because Strider was next to me, I was like, thanks, I learned absolutely nothing from this show. Like, I think this is, maybe I like this show a lot, because there isn't, like, a forced moral in any of these that I can recall. It's just, like, stuff sucks and you gotta deal with it sometimes. That's my like takeaway from Courage episodes.
Yeah, it teaches you a lot of family values to take care of those who are near you.
I don't think this is in season 1, but I will say one of my, other than like Night at the Catz Hotel is an episode I remember very fondly. Another one I remember is the one where they get turned into kids. I don't think that's in season 1. And then another one is the tablet, which I would be very surprised if it's season 1, because that one has 3D.
That's what I was looking at. I was trying to see. That was the first episode I ever watched. Return the slab.
There was a TikTok of someone who buried themselves like up to the knees in sand, and they tried to wave themselves like an inflatable, but all the comments were like, the tablet.
Return the slab. Yeah, that apparently that's also like everyone that I hear talk about that episode is like their first introduction to horror, because they're just like, that's creepy. Like
I do remember being scared of that episode.
Yeah, it I found out later that all my brothers were just like scared of that episode. For me, it didn't like. I'm just like it isn't. But anyway, back to the.
Before
Oh, go
I
ahead.
forget, the other episode that scared me, this one might be in the first season, is the Sewing Sisters
Oh yes.
with the quill, and she gets
Mhm.
trapped in the quill, and I was like,
Yeah,
I have a
they're so-
phobia. I've unlocked a phobia.
Yeah. And so you decided to crochet.
I can't sew myself suck into this. No one can steal my soul like this.
Yeah. That means I'd have to do it to myself.
Yes, but this episode in particular, I will say, if you don't remember this episode off the top of your head, the night at the Catz Hotel, you do remember the scene of the handball competition between Courage and Catz.
Yes.
That is like, I did not think that was so early.
Yeah, me neither. I wasn't expecting. I was like, I thought this was later. To be fair, I thought Catz was a later.
Character.
Yeah, I thought he came in later. What I did find out about this episode was I didn't realize how many random gadgets Courage was just able to just pull out of nowhere.
He has a lot of gadgets, and I forgot.
And they're all useless.
I know. I also forgot how good he is at, or how, us as viewers, he speaks English, and
Yeah.
it seems to be only the supernatural creatures understand him, but that his actual humans are just like, what are you going on about? So he has his charades where he's like, it's this, it's this, it's this.
Yeah.
And it's very funny to see him go through the motions of trying to explain what something is when he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah. I can't remember if it's in this. It's the next episode where he like turns into like the big old like scary monster. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, the handball scene. I think it's not handball in a later episode. I don't know. I don't think it's in season 1, but they play dodgeball.
Yeah, Catz is like, he's in a handful of episodes. Catz is a very fun character. I'm glad that he does come back.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters that are repeat ones they're pretty neat. Another thing that cracked me up when it's just like, Muriel, where are you? And then it's just like very clearly room 666 and a half, and it's just like, oh, well, I wonder where they are.
Checks out. I also, as an adult watching back, I appreciate that they made his scared noises almost sound like a dog. Because it almost sounds like he's howling. He's like, ooh. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've heard a dog make that noise, like not just a voice actor.
Yeah, it's... it'll be interesting to see later episodes if Courage's like dogness carries through, or if it's just like this is season 1, and if it's like
They're figuring out the character. Yeah.
Because does he say it in this where he's like the things I do for love? Because like I know that's a line that he says a lot.
It
like,
was definitely in next week's episodes. I can say that for sure. I don't remember. I can't confirm or deny if they're in these two.
I think he... I can't fully remember, but I think he talks about it.
Yeah. But yeah,
says it.
so then there's the iconic handball scene, to which my favorite part is Catz is just like has his book out and like so nonchalantly is playing as Courage is like putting his all in. I also love that he's shaped like a jelly bean, but that's like that's just a designer choice. And then you have Muriel that's just getting tired of like...
She's just like, I'm done with this.
I know, she's like, I'm trying to take a bath and there's this spider and it won't leave me alone. And then she deals with it and gets stressed and she goes like, where's Eustace? Oh my god. As
Courage, we're leaving. Yeah, he's like dying. It reminded me of an old... well, it's not... I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, it's not old, but it probably is. Anime Prince of Tennis, where there was like one of them playing against like a dad that was good at tennis, and it's like, I didn't move. I made you run back and forth in the tennis court. and that's what it looked like. Because like Courage was just like jumping on one side, smacking into the wall, and then he had to like run back and jump again, while like Catz is just like doo doo doo.
Not even like a care in the world. Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, that was fun. I was curious, like knowing how a lot of people will talk about certain episodes. I wonder how many people developed arachnophobia
From this one.
Yeah,
that would
like
they did put more detail than they definitely ever had to for a kids show, where like the spider's approaching with its giant maw and it's got like poison dripping out of it, and it's very much man-sized. And then also the scene where they open up the back room and it's like infinite spiders underneath what is it called, cloches or whatever they're called, like the display like glass thingies. Yeah, and
they're
it's
all
just just
Go ahead.
memorialized and all of that.
They're all angry looking.
Yeah, but so what we know from the episode, there were 3 active, but we don't know how many others might have been active, right? Because there was a unique one for set out on Courage, one for Eustace, and one for Muriel, and then the huge wall of his preserved ones.
Yeah, and there was like, let's see, I don't know. Actually, I still do have the disc in there. I could bring up the scene, but yeah, there's like multiple shelves filled with spiders. But yeah, I think when he leaves, like, doesn't he knock over all the shelves or something? I can't remember. But yeah,
Yeah.
But then they go home, and Eustace is like, he's like one of those things you wrap babies in. Yeah. He's just like, just all good.
He's asleep the whole time. He could not care any less about what's happening around him.
Oh, he cared a lot. He just wasn't conscious to
to complain anymore.
He had a lot of thoughts. But yeah, so that's a night at the Catz Motel. I don't know, was there anything else you wanted to
Oh yeah, I think I mentioned it already. The line of "you'll find out why nobody checks out," and I just think like Catz as a character, he's kind of like that perfect villain type of character that you can introduce to a show, where it's very clear that you can't trust him just from like the way he carries himself, and the way he voices things, and that for the viewer, it's very obvious he has an evil plan because you start to see the spiders and everything like that. And then he has, like, 0 remorse. Like, he's not sweating it. Like you said, he's a cool cat. And it's also kind of like, I think this episode is one of the better paced ones. Because you're dropped right into them being disgruntled and going, I don't want to stay in this motel, but it is what it is. And then you start to see, like, the party gets separated and then all the hijinks that ensue because of it, and it, for me, like, it didn't feel like so for I'm saying this because I watched next week's episode, like next week's characters, like, they're almost like too evil, you know, like they have funny moments but they're not like good villain material. I feel like that might apply for the episode you're about to talk about, too.
Let's see, I'm going to find out what the next one is.
No, I mean, like, your part B.
Yeah, I was just wondering, and then I was like, oh, that's right, it's that character. I remember one of them. But yeah, so for Cajun Granny Stew, yeah, in short, this whole episode is there's a fox who is making Cajun Granny Stew, and he's going through and realizes he is missing one very important ingredient: a granny.
The namesake.
Yep. And so he goes out and search to where he comes across Muriel and Courage in the park feeding birds.
And boy, does Courage hate birds.
Oh yes. And how birds hate Courage. But anyway, Muriel is just sitting there just like, whatever, and then just conveniently passes out, and then it becomes Looney Tune like parody of the fox and Courage trying to get Muriel away from the other.
I wish I could sleep as deeply as she does.
Yeah. Well, Eustace slept through the first part.
Yeah,
and now
but we don't like Eustace. Sorry, was that mean? Was that rude of me?
if it's the truth, it's like, oh well.
Yeah, maybe I just don't like Eustace. Do you like Eustace?
I think I don't enjoy Eustace's character, but I think he does have, like, in the future from other episodes, I think, like, the one thing I always remember Eustace, and I think it's in season 1, is like, you are very bald.
Oh, that's a very sad episode. Yeah.
It is, but it's just like, it's that's the thing. Like, Courage has, like, all these episodes that are just, like, slapstick, goofy, kind of fun. And then it's, like, there's the other one with, like, I know a lot of people talk about where there's, like, the bunny, the bunny episode that's across the tracks that Courage has to go help from, like, the super Jack Doberman. And it's just, like,
yeah.
It's like, there was a lesson in this one. But anyway, we're not there yet.
The maybe or maybe not about spouses and how to treat each other properly. Yeah, but the one thing I did think was funny when Strider was next to me and watching these, he's like, it's funny how Courage is, like, not aiming to be, like, the best eldritch horror out there, but it does it better than a lot of the other things that we've watched recently. I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
This part B, not so much, but...
Yeah, I feel like eldritch horror that's the most entertaining is, like, you can't have, like, I guess, yeah, you kind of need, like, at least a person that's going to be like, okay, I'm going to be brave and strong and I'm the tough guy. But it's just, like, they normally don't last. It's normally, like, the giant coward that doesn't want to know the infinite secrets of the universe that is just, like, yeah, the less you know, the better it is. But anyway... with Cajun Granny Stew, one thing that just kept cracking me up is how the fox had the giant, like, the biggest eyes and just hid them under, like, the tiniest little sunglasses. And so that kept cracking me up. But yeah, it definitely felt like a Coyote Roadrunner episode.
Mm-hmm. Very slapstick from the clips that I saw.
But yeah, so there's that, like, that there really isn't much that happens in this whole episode. So, like, there's like, it kind of goes back and forth. The first one, I'm trying to remember, it was there, and then, like, it's pretty much them just kind of doing different things, but then it gets to the point, like, where, like, they get into different cars and the fox is driving a car away and Courage gets ahead of him. He's like, oh, okay, these rocks will stop him, as he moves this road closed sign to, like, where the road is definitely not closed. And he's just like, I got him now. And the fox just doesn't stop and runs Courage over. And it's just like, what did he think? I'm born yesterday. And then, like, the camera, like, it cuts and the road's just gone. Like, it's just, like, a cliff. and he's just, like, just rides off the cliff. And somehow Courage gets Muriel out, or, like, he's down there and catches Muriel. I can't remember how. But then that, and then a later scene, or, like, I think it's the following one. He's just like, I got Muriel, okay. And he calls the cops. And does the whole thing you're saying where he's just, like, explaining it, but he's, like, turning into, like, a monster and everything. It's just, like, through the phone and just like, all right, we'll send an officer over. And then, like, immediately a cop car shows up and he's just like, oh yeah. And then it's just the fox steps out in, like, full uniform. He's like, you called, and then just, like, whacks him with a billy club. And then just takes Muriel away. And then the big part of this scene is or movie show is they somehow end up on a biplane and Muriel starts sleepwalking.
Yeah, that's the clip I kept finding on YouTube over and over again.
Yeah, and so, like, she starts sleepwalking, and so him and the fox are like, oh no, we don't want to kill her. Like, one wants to save her and one wants to cook her. And so she kept walking toward, like, like standing on the edge, and they keep trying to like run up and get her, and the biplane keeps like tilting forward, like, and they keep running back, and like, oh no, and then like they turn around, like after like it repeats like 2 or 3 times, and then they get more and more frustrated, and then they look at Muriel, who just steps off the end of the plane, and they're like, and then they both freak out and they go to look down, and she's just walking upside down
Magnetic
on the plane.
boots.
Yeah. And so, and the fox is like, I knew she was good to do that. And it's just like, really? But yeah, it's pretty much this whole episode. Like there isn't like any fun. Well, there is a lot of fun stuff. It is a fun episode because then it's just like cooking. Like Muriel sleeps through the whole thing, and then like the very end, like after the biplane, he gets her and starts cooking her, and I forget what Courage, like he's like kicked off the airplane. I think that's what happens. And he's just falling to the point where he just like falls like and crushes the fox. And but Muriel's just like wakes up and she's like, "Oh, what's that smell?" It's just like, "Oh, is that Cajun fox soup? My favorite." And the fox is like, "No, let me out."
Yeah, but like I always forget about these kinds of episodes because, like you said, there's not like a big standout moment or big standout villain in it. It really is just like very indicative of like the time for cartoons where they're like, you know what kids like? They like slapstick. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't stick in the same way for me.
Yeah, it's like, I think I would have a lot more fun watching this episode with my niece or like my brothers. Because like I think we would just like this Cajun Granny Stew seems more like a fun, like that would be more enjoyable to watch with people rather than like by myself.
Yeah, so, it's a very silly.
It's not meant silly to be like studied for what we're doing here, but
as if we study very hard.
Yeah, or like trying to find like hidden things and all that. Like I don't know, but I don't know. It's I'm like just looking at the episode 8 will be You're Bald.
In season 1?
Yeah, it's season 1.
Oh, I didn't know that was season 1.
Me neither, but you know what is
the Duck Brothers is another wild episode. Yeah, that's in season 1.
Well, do you know what's with that is tied with the You're Bald is
the curse.
That's the episode before it. But the tied with that is when the goose god comes down.
Oh, and it tries to marry.
Yes.
Honk honk.
Yeah. Just that beautiful voice. But I don't know. There's
episode 1's a banger. Or season 1's a banger.
Yeah, there's a lot.
The chicken from the outer space is season 1 too.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Strudel.
Oh, little Muriel.
Yeah, there's a lot of like. It makes sense why they got all these other seasons.
Maybe I don't know these other seasons. All of the episodes that we talked about.
It's a good thing. Not like it's not like it's scene, like I'm looking through and see if there's other ones I remember. I think I remember what the 1,000 Years of Courage is. I think that's when they like the Earth gets knocked out of orbit and they go to the future.
That sounds about right.
Catz Candy. I remember that one. That's in season 2. Bad Hair Day, I think, is when they Eustace goes and calls a TV ad to go get hair.
Oh, I remember The Mask. That's pretty late in the show. It's season 4. Season 4. Mm-hmm. That one was a wild episode. But
they literally have the Nutcracker in season 4 too.
I do remember that. I will be curious to see what you say when we get to next week's episode, because there was, you know how like you don't think about things being outdated, especially in children's shows. Sometimes you forget there's a chance of that.
Mm-hmm.
Next week has the episode about the amnesia specialist. I don't know if you remember it at all.
Um, partially not like it.
I'll just say like the quick little bit. I'll just say Eustace tries to take advantage of Muriel having amnesia, and he says something out loud, and I was like, he said the quiet part out loud.
Thing. Man. Well, that's something I get to look forward to when we go to record next week.
Yeah,
The
but
next
no,
week's
I feel
episode.
bad that Cajun Granny Stew doesn't get any chatting points from us, but like I literally
Well, it
didn't
doesn't
watch
help.
it.
Only half of us watched it, and they're honestly like, there's not
It's a pretty
ton.
light episode.
It is. It's pretty much very slapstick. It's a lot of fun. It's but the like compared to Night in the Cat's Hotel, where it's like you have the whole handball scene. There's like a lot of scenes that are in there. Cajun Granny Stew felt like there's a lot of, not that there's anything wrong repeated frames, but there's like a lot of repeated things because there's a lot of movement, a lot of things, and it's just like their story and like telling the tale. Like the tale is literally like Courage and Fox both want Muriel.
And they
Who's
want
gonna
her
get
alive.
her?
Yeah.
Who's gonna get her? And it's just like, it's just
It's fine.
Yeah, it's a literally like Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, old school cartoon.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find any fun images from it. I see that there was a casino scene where Courage tried to distract him by getting him to gamble.
Oh yes, yeah, there was that. That's like, yeah, that's because I think he comes up and the Fox is just like, I can see what you're doing. Like I know it is, but who am I to not play a game? And he puts in the quarter, and it's just like he's like, I want you to know I always win, and he wins, and just a giant boxing glove just like comes out and punches him. But,
I like this fan art I found by Googling Cajun Granny Stew. It's very endearing to me. Because I can tell what it is.
Oh yeah, that's very much the episode. Except Courage looks a lot angrier.
Meaner. Yeah, I sent Itisdpayne. It looks like a kid's fan art in paint, which, not a hater. I was this kid too. But of this episode, and they made Courage look like, one, a normal dog. He's normal dog shaped and growling. As Muriel is not asleep, but instead actively frowning while riding on the back of the cat. Or fox.
The fox,
Yeah.
which looks also like a dog. Yeah. That's pretty much
the other thing that I thought was funny while I was scrolling through. Oh, this still of the birds. Where Muriel's like, the birds aren't that bad, Courage, it's fine. And the birds literally like blow raspberries at him.
He's like, I don't believe you. And then it's just like, he's like, the birds are out to get us. And that's why Courage goes and hides in Muriel's jacket.
Yeah.
Because like the birds are like, yeah, want to fight? It's just like, ah. So, but yeah, that's pretty much episode 1 of season 1 of Courage.
We found a way to fill out an episode.
Yeah. Will we be able to do it again? Well, find out next time on Courage the Cowardly Dog recap.
We'll be continuing the series at least until we get through season 1 of Courage the Cowardly Dog, because we have plans for the winter holiday. This is us leading into the October holiday, which, as Itisdpayne had sent me earlier in the podcast, Michael's is getting ready for it. And I was at I wasn't at a Michael's, but like July 5th, my friend was like, hey, can we stop by this place to look at? How do I explain it? It's not quite a Home Goods. It's not quite an IKEA, but it's like some like in-between-ish kind of thing.
Home Depot. Dun, 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 dun.
But they just had like 8-foot tall skeletons already out on July 5th. And as we walked through the store, it was just like, it went from Halloween to outdoor pool furniture to Thanksgiving decorations back to Halloween. Like, it kept looping between the three, and we were so disoriented.
Yeah, it's always interesting because I think it's like right around the middle of October. If you go into any store, there's just like inflatable
Oh,
Christmas yawn.
there was a Christmas tree also out on
Yeah,
display too. But
yeah,
one,
they're
just a
there.
single one.
They're out there. But yeah. Well, you know what, you guys will find out what episodes are, what the title names of the episodes are for next week. So when we tell you, but it's Courage. So
We should take if we find ourselves short on time, I'm gonna just start finding random Courage the Cowardly Dog quizzes.
find out what Courage we are.
Yes.
We get spoilers for season 2. But yeah, I believe that is it. So thank you everyone for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, maybe you went and if you went and watched Courage after hearing this, let us know.
Tell us your favorite character.
Yes, from episode 1A and 1B.
You have to pick one that's in both episodes.
There's two characters that are in both episodes.
Like, we can't overwhelm them with options.
I was thinking that when you mentioned the casino scene thing in the quarter, I was like, I don't know if we'd be able to get our hands on and how much it is, but Ed and Eddie would be an interesting show to also do this with.
I couldn't fall asleep at one point, and I turned on one of those like Cartoon Network specials on YouTube where it's like live streaming and it's like just a bunch of episodes. And Ed and Eddie came on, and I was like, this is brain rot. There's no substance.
Yeah, but I just think it'd be funny to just talk about the schemes that they do.
Schemes. Very
schemes. Loose. Yeah. Back when intelligence wasn't needed. But anyway, that is it. Y'all have a good night, morning, lunch, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.